Alright, welcome to Old World Gaming. My Stormbringer issue 51 came through today with the Loonboss on Giant Cave Squig, who will make a great Warboss for my growing Night Goblin army. So yeah, I thought I'd build him. The last one of these I built was about 15 years ago, this guy. Who came out for 7th edition, yeah, he's very nice. I just put him on this base actually the other day and then sprayed him. But yeah, so now I've got this. So he's obviously got a hand weapon, or probably a magic weapon. It depends actually. But I'm going to build this guy with a spear, and it's a really nice looking model. I love his giant tongue and his little horns. So yeah, so let's make a start. I will. It's got the instructions in here, so I'm just going to put them to the side and follow those as I go. So first thing it says is to put his head together. So let's do that using. So these are my side cutters. You always want to use those to get them off the sprue. I do have a video showing you how to use them properly, but you can kind of see what I'm doing here anyway. Flat side against the piece that you're cutting. Is that all the bits? Did I clip everything? No, there's something somewhere. That one I missed. Yeah, so I do now have about 30 squig hoppers because I also got the episode of Stormbringer that came with a whole bunch of squig hoppers. It came with 5 and I bought 4 copies. So I could make up 20 more. I really like the idea of having an army with loads of squig hoppers in. And I don't know, I feel like the war bosses on Giant Squig are quite good value. Now, when I first looked at them, I saw that they were a loner, and that made me think that they had to go on their own and couldn't join a squig unit, a squig hopper unit. But when you read the loner, and now I'm doubting myself as I'm saying this, but when you read the loner entry, it said loners can't join units except loner units, and squig hoppers have got loner. So I'm sure I'm remembering that right. I should look that up really before saying stuff like that. But I'm pretty sure that loner characters can join loner units, which means that they can join a unit of squig hoppers. Now, I'm wondering if I could have like a unit of 5 squig hoppers with like 3 war bosses in on giant squigs. That'd be really cool. Because they move randomly, and if they couldn't join the unit, trying to get them to keep up with the unit would be quite difficult. But if they can join the unit, which I'm almost 100% sure they can, although I will double check it again, then suddenly you could have a whole bunch of quite good characters, because the squig gives them extra attacks. Does it give them extra toughness? I can't remember if it gives them extra toughness or not. But certainly, yeah, a whole load of extra attacks. It might give them an extra wound actually, rather than toughness. I think that's what it does. Vaguely recollect looking at it and being a little bit disappointed because I was hoping it was toughness, but a wound is fine. So yeah, a whole load. I think they're probably like strength. Well, normal cave squigs are strength 5. So I don't know if a giant cave squig is any stronger or just has more attacks than a normal cave squig. I should probably look that up really. Obviously I would play in a game. Whether I look it up right now or not is something else. Okay, so I think that's both of these two clean. So I've got rid of the mould lines, I've got rid of the bits of flash that were left, and these should now fit together nicely like that. Very good. That's good. This is called a dry fit, where you test it out to see if there's anything that you've missed that's kind of stop it from sticking together. Also gives you a chance to, like, some pieces are hard to work out where they should join, so always do a dry fit before you stick them. So that's good to go. I just had a quick look at the instructions to see if there was anything, like if a tongue needed to be stuck in first before you stick them together, but it looks good to go. So let's just glue this. I love this glue. It's awesome, very good for spreading. I think I saw that Games Workshop have copied this design now, because they never used to. They used to be fat, just a fat end like that, and a very thick, splurgy plastic glue. But now it looks like they've made a bottle that's basically the same as this, but smaller, which is definitely the right move, because I always used to use this. Well, this is the only plastic glue I've ever used, really. Yeah, I just really like it, and it lasts a really, really, really ridiculously long time. But, yeah, there we go. Right, so that's that gluing together. I'd quite like to get rid of this gap, but there might be a head that goes over there actually. There probably is. Where's the skull face thing? This bit. What does that cover? No, it doesn't cover it actually. Oh, but the guy's going to be sitting on top. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. Okay, oops. Right, okay, so that's his big old gob made, so I'll just put that to the side, put that on his face. What next? We've got the faceplate and the tongue. So, faceplate, we're looking at that a second. It looks a bit like a Chaos Dwarf symbol, that faceplate. Just needs a beard. Be interesting to see what they do with the Chaos Dwarfs when they release them, if they do make a new line for them, or if they just re-release the Forge World ones. I imagine they probably will re-release the Forge World ones. But yeah, whether they make any plastic kits, they'll probably do a whole bunch of made to order for the Chaos Dwarfs. I don't... Like, I'm not a huge fan of the old Chaos Dwarfs. It's quite a controversial thing to say, but I don't know. I just wasn't a fan of the big hat ones. But what I did like when they brought the Hell Cannon out and they made the Chaos Dwarf crew for that, those I liked, with masks rather than hats. That was kind of harking back to the original Chaos Dwarf days before they made them Babylonians. Not that I've got any problem with them being like Babylonians. But the models were just a bit meh. I don't mind them having big hats really, but the models were, I don't know, I guess it was the part of the era. They didn't particularly inspire me all that much. However, there have been lots of companies that have been making Chaos Dwarf models. In fact, the Forge World ones were good, but there's lots of, I can't even remember, Lost Kingdoms maybe. There's loads of, they may or may not have done one, but I just know that they're a company that makes ones for 3D printing. But there's loads of companies that have done really nice Chaos Dwarf armies, but I'm a bit of a stickler for only using GW models, rightly or wrongly. But I don't know, I just like using GW models really. Saying that, there is, I would make exceptions for someone like Avatars of War, mainly because the guy who sculpts the Avatars of War miniatures used to work for Games Workshop, and so his sculpts look like they fit in perfectly with Games Workshop sculpts. Not that I've bought any, but like he's done plastic Slayers, which Games Workshop haven't done. So Unit 20 plastic Slayers is a genius move. So I would definitely consider getting those. But I imagine Games Workshop will probably do some plastic Slayers. That's probably, they've been doing a new unit. Well, they've certainly did a new unit for Bretonnians. the foot knights, and they've done a new unit, plastic unit for Khemri, the plastic tomb guard. So I wonder if that's what they'll do as a new unit. But yeah, and then maybe, because they could in the Arcane Journal do the Slayer army. If they did the Slayer army, then Malachi McKyson's Goblin Hoover would come back, and that would make me very happy because I have one and I love it. It's a cool model, but also excellent, excellent rules. I loved it. I thought it was awesome. So yeah, I'd be very pleased to see that come back. Okay, he's looking nice and angry. Very good. Okay, his tongue is next. It's a nice chunky tongue. Yeah, I do like dwarves a lot. They are one of my favourite armies. My favourite armies, the army that I've got the most models for is Dark Elves. I have got probably about 20,000 points of Dark Elves, which is excessive, and I've got, I don't know, like 6 dragons maybe for Dark Elves, which also is excessive. Like, when am I ever going to use 6 dragons? But there we are. I have played a 10,000 point game with them before. I think we probably used 3 dragons in that. Including Malekith, obviously. But yeah, so Dark Elves were my first army, and are one of my favourites. I love Night Goblins, and I can't remember if Night Goblins or Dwarves were my second army. But yeah, I love Night Goblins and I love Dwarves. So those are my 3 favourite armies. I do like Wood Elves a lot. I do have quite a few Wood Elves. Yeah, so I don't know. All that to say, I like dwarves. That was basically the point I was making, was I like dwarves. Oops, got fingerprints on his head now. Never mind. I'm going to stick a guy on top of him anyway. Right, let's put some glue in here. Let's stick his tongue in his mouth. I was going to say that's the sound he makes, but he doesn't really have lips to make an sound. His teeth just poke out the front. You have to put your lips together to go But there we are. He's just going to go That's exactly what you thought you were going to get in this video, was like a sound effects lesson on squigs and what kind of sounds they're going to make. Okay. Right, very good. Yeah, he looks nice. I like how deep his mouth goes. Like classic squigs just all have closed mouths with like grins, because you can't, it's really hard to, well, you can't cast the way that a miniature's made. You just can't cast anything inside, but because this is 2 halves, you can get that hollow. Right, okay, what is next? It's his legs. Okay, so we'll do a leg. Let's do 7 and 8 are that bit there. 7, and his foot, 8. Okay, great. Okay, we'll just take this mould line off. And it goes around this spike. Around here, then we stick his foot on. It's got like a square place to put on. Which way does that go? Goes that way. Okay. Now it's not strictly necessary to get rid of these mould lines, but then you will have them showing up on your model when you paint them, and you'll find that they'll leave like lines and shadows and stuff in weird places if you don't get rid of them. So yeah, it's just natural now as part of getting rid of like the bits of flash that are left on after you clip them off the sprue. I just don't even think about getting rid of the mould lines. It's not like something I do on purpose, it's just part of putting a model together. Habit. But yeah, certainly not something I even considered when I was first started playing. I probably didn't even notice the mould lines. It's weird how you don't notice something until someone points it out to you. And then suddenly you're like, oh yeah, it's everywhere. How we look in, just this bit left. No, missed that one as well. Okay, done. Alright, cool. So, how do we say this goes on? That's his. Goes on like that. Yes, like that. Okay, fine, he's running. He's running. And that's his leg. Running like that. Okay, fine. So stick his foot on first, I think. Probably a bit too much glue on there, but never mind. We'll try and get some of it off. Okay, great. And let's test it out. Perfect. Great. That's a good fit. Okay, yeah, I do like this guy. He's a really nice model, and he's really easy to put together. I'm just going to press that together for a minute, because that feels like it wants to peel away. So I'm just going to, it's a little bit springy. And also, I kind of want it to bulge a little bit here, because I don't really want that gap to be showing. So if I put a bit more glue in and make it splurge a little bit into the recess, hopefully that will hide the gap. I think that's doing exactly what I wanted to do, so that's very good. Okay, great. Its tiny little tail. Let's see if I can just, yeah, So when plastic cement sets, it bonds the two pieces of plastic together by actually melting them, so that when it sets, they've become a single piece of plastic, which means you can then treat them as one piece of plastic and get rid of that line that's created. Now obviously that only helps if there's no dip, so like here there's a dip, so it's better for it to splurge a bit, to have some coming pressing out than to have dips going in, because you can clean it off like that. Okay, cool, let's find his other foot. Oh, it's got another bit to it. Where is it? Oh, there's some toes. Separate. And toes. Alright. The reason the toes are separate is because you wouldn't be able to pull the two pieces of metal apart with overhangs. But yeah, I mean that's why it's bit, because you've got two pieces of metal that have to come apart, and with that there, it would be stuck inside one of the pieces of metal if they hadn't made it a separate piece. So that's why you get bits like this that seem really weird that they're a separate piece, but it's just part of the nature of the making process, so the casting process for plastic models, or moulding process, should I say. Okay, let's clean this off. Yeah, I don't think casting is the technical term for plastic. They're injection moulded, whereas metal models are cast. I guess resin is cast. I don't know if you can use the term cast for injection moulded plastic. Is it cast? I'm not really sure. I've now got that going through my head. Like, you cast resin, you cast metal. Do you cast plastic? You cast plaster of Paris. These are quite fun looking mushrooms, aren't they? Nice and tall, with the gills on the bottom. Oh, my best mate mocked me for, he said, have you done a 50-minute video on painting brown mushrooms and a 20-minute video on painting toadstools? I was like, don't forget the 15-minute video on painting blue mushrooms. That's just amusing. I did spend quite a lot of time painting Grin Crack. It took a lot longer because I was doing videos as well. If I'd have just painted him in one stint, it would have been less time, but well, it wouldn't have been any less time than the videos showed, but I wouldn't have had all the waiting around in between, like uploading videos and making thumbnails and stuff like that. So for me, it took longer. I probably could have got him done in a couple of nights, maybe even one night, but because of the all the video making process, it took a few days. But that's fine. It's also like the least watched set of videos. I guess it's a lot less universal, painting one particular character than like the one that's doing, the video that's doing really well at the moment is teaching kind of what I'm doing now, how to get plastic models ready for painting. And that one's doing really well. Like, had 500 views today, which is crazy. Like, really crazy. None of my videos have had 500 views in total in the last few weeks, but that one's had like 500 just today. So, yeah, I guess that's... it is pretty universal because there's lots of different game systems that use plastic miniatures. So it's not just Old World that it applies to. So I wonder if that's part of its appeal, is it's just generally useful. But that was interesting to see that one do really well. The other thing that's I think is probably going to do really well, hopefully, is the Making a Battlefield series, because that's, again, you can use them for any game system, not just Warhammer. So obviously I'm making mine for Warhammer the Old World, but you can play loads of different games on it. Kings of War, Song of Ice and Fire, I don't know, what else? Warmaster, loads of different games. I don't know, many people play Warmaster these days, but I would love for Warmaster to come back out, and so I can get my armies out, get my dwarves out. I do like Warmaster. It was a good game. Plus, it made the battles feel like absolutely epic, because they were on the battlefields felt massive, which made it, I don't know, just a bit more. Yeah, I just really liked it. Just more interesting. The strategy was different as well. Sending you commands, would your messenger get through with the commands, would the units do what they were told? That kind of thing was cool. So yeah, I really like that. So yeah, hopefully hopefully Old World does well enough that it becomes a bit more of a core setting again, which would be very good. And then things like Mordheim and Warmaster have got a good chance of re-emerging. Maybe Man of War, if they... I know they did Dreadfleet a while back. I've not played it, but I really wanted to get into Man of War, and I was hoping Dreadfleet would do that, but it wasn't really. I don't know. It didn't look like it was anything like Man of War in that you got one boat for each race rather than a whole army of the same race. So that seemed a bit weird. But who knows? I might play it in the not too distant future, because I just picked one up off eBay. I was thinking. So the reason I did was because I was looking in one of the side panels in the rule book, or one of the books, whether it was a rule book or Ravenholds or something like that. I talked about pirate, like pirate orcs, and I was like, oh, that'd be really cool just to have loads of pirate war bands, and do a bit like a Mordheim, but with boat crews, pirate crews. That'd be really cool. And then it just got me thinking about Dreadfleet, because I was like, yeah, Dreadfleet is the kind of, almost that kind of thing, but obviously without individual characters and stuff. Okay, there we go. So that's that leg done. We'll pop that in here. Very nice. Yeah, I like the way that this fits is really good. The metal stuff, metal was so much harder. Like this leg didn't really fit on properly at all. But thankfully, they they brought out liquid green stuff, and so I kind of put that in the gap, but it was a huge gap. So yeah, liquid green stuff. Yeah, 2015. Certainly wasn't around when I was working there. But yeah, it's very good. However, it's plastic, just means everything's so much easier to put together. So I do approve of plastic models. Right, let's get this glued on here. Have I put enough glue in? Yeah, it should be alright. Oh, he's doing that. He's not running, he's bouncing. I didn't realise both of his feet. I don't know why I didn't notice that, but both of his feet are just actually off the ground. I think it's the mushroom that makes it look like he's running rather than not. Interesting that he's got a chain around his feet. I don't know if anything attaches to that. Maybe it's when he's I don't know. I was going to say locked up in his pen, but you probably wouldn't need a chain if you're in a pen. I don't know. How do you store if that's the right term? How do you store a squig? Yeah, that must be like, I guess he's got, when they're camped, he's got like a chain into a stake or something. Oops, I'm not showing on camera, but yeah, this little, he's got it around his ankle, so maybe, yeah, when they're camped, he's got a chain. Just imagine him like petting him like a dog now and him sleeping in front of the Warboss's tent. That's amusing me. What are goblin camps like? I feel like I need to make a goblin camp now. Goblin camp. Yeah, there we go. Alright, he's looking good. Oh, he stands self-supporting. Very good. Oh, I missed some bits underneath here. Better if it's flat. Yeah, I would have done more of the board today, but I did the textured paint layer, and it's taking ages to dry. So that'll have to wait till tomorrow, maybe. Will I get time to do it tomorrow? I don't know. Oh yeah, that's good. Very good. See, I was going to use this guy as a Warboss as well, because he's just a really nice character. But he looks teeny tiny on this, on the 50/50 base. I mean, yeah, he does look quite small. And compared to this guy, like, he's very small. Just look at his squig could basically fit in his mouth. But he's really nice. I mean, I might, oh, I found this rock. I went outside looking for rocks, and I found this one. So I might, like, put him on a rock, and then he makes him look a bit bigger, maybe. So, I don't know. It's an option. I'm leaving it there just in case I decide to do it, and then he could be like a boss on a cave squig. On a giant cave squig, but he's not as big as this guy. So, I don't know, we'll see. It depends. He's basically just the size of a normal squig rider, and I guess he probably is just meant to be, because he's for a Underworld's warband rather than a Warboss on a mega squig. But there we are. Yeah, I can't help but thinking he's running, but he is actually leaping, and it's cool. I don't know why I thought it was running. I think the mushroom kind of, unless you're looking at it, the mushroom just looks like a leg. I don't know. Okay, so that's the squig done, I think. Let's move on to the next page. Yep, now it's the boss. Okay, what have we got? 11 and 12. What are 11 and 12? This part here, and this part here. 11, 12's his head, his face. Oh, with no nose, he looks like Voldemort. Look at that, he's got no nose, he literally looks like Voldemort without his nose. Alright, that's amusing. So I guess his nose is meant to be inside this. So he's got, that's quite weird to have so much face and then just hide it inside a thing. Like all you can see, I mean, you'd never be able to paint his teeth. It's just going to be black inside there, which is fine. But yeah, it's a bit of a waste of a face, but whatever. Yeah, it's what we got. Right, let's see, we got this bit on here. Bit under his chin. Yeah, I might do this guy with yellow painted armor. I quite like. So I've done two guys yellow so far. They're two different types of yellow. So this was the first one I did. Actually, I don't know how, but it's come off the end of his lance, and I'm not really sure what's happened there, because I feel like he's literally just been sitting over there for ages, but I must have knocked him somehow. Weird that it's taken off a big chunk. But yeah, so that came out really nice, and is a very bright yellow. And then I did this guy, Grin Crack, with a muted yellow, which also looks awesome. I was super pleased with that. So the two, you can see this one's a much brighter yellow and this one's a more muted yellow, but they're both very good, and I don't know which one I'd go for. I guess it depends on which warband he's going to be part of, or if he's going to be his own like one, who knows. But yeah, there we are. Okay, so I got sidetracked then. Oh yeah, by his helmet, because I'm thinking about painting it. Right, let's get rid of this mould line, even though you're probably not going to be able to see it inside. That is a neck and a half. I don't think that's all really neck, it's just plug to put it into the body. That took me a really long time to say that word. Yeah, got lost in my thoughts. Okay, he looks a bit like a Lord of the Rings orc without his nose. Right, so that's going to go in there, but I think I'm going to get the other bit out first before I glue it, just to try see what it's like. So this one, 13. Interestingly, the book has got them labelled the wrong way around, but I guess it doesn't matter. It says this bit's number 12 and the other one's 13. But it literally doesn't matter at all, because they're just both being stuck together anyway. So. I honestly thought this was going to be a really quick video. Thought it'd take like 10 minutes to put this guy together, but I can see it's like 40 minutes. So I was going to say we're almost done. I can't guarantee that, because clearly my estimation's been way off. It amused me when I estimated my Fanatics video, and right at the beginning I said, yeah, here's a warning. I think this video could be like half an hour long, so be prepared, and then it turned out to be almost 2 hours. Now I don't like this mega gap that's here. It's that looks like it's going to be quite problematic, and I don't know what it is that's doing it. But yeah, it's gonna not stick pretty well, I can basically guarantee that, and that's annoying. don't know what it is that's making it not stick. If we took the head out the middle, how was it? It's still not a great fit, even without the head, but it's certainly better than with the head. Obviously I need the head in there, but I'm just wondering if there's anything I can do to make it fit nicer. Not sure there is, or I don't know what it would be. Chop his neck off maybe, he doesn't need his neck. I don't know if it's the neck that's doing it though. Might be that top bit of that neck. Alright, let's see if this makes a difference. There you go, if this works, this could be a really good tip for anyone watching this video. Maybe the most useful part of this video, if it works. I'm not making any promises. Not yet. What could it be? Trying to think what's likely to be doing it. I've just got that little bit of leverage, so when I do that, it pops out either side. That's annoying because I don't want any gap. Any gap will look rubbish in either of those places. Yeah. What is doing it? Okay, what is safe to cut? Let's have a look, see what is safe to cut. What is not safe to cut is the top of his head. Basically anything on the top of his head. Is that the problem? Is there something up there? I don't know if it is. Let's try shaving away this part of his head. See if that makes any difference. And take his chin down a bit as well. Let's do the same on the other side. Why not do under here? Yeah, it's all covered. I just had a bit of a worry then, but it is all covered by the mask. Alright, we have taken a lot of this down. This feels quite drastic, but I don't think it matters. Yeah, can't see any of it, but it's still not done it. Could be his cheekbones. Is it his cheeks? But I don't really want to start hacking away his face just in case I wreck it. But yeah, none of that actually has helped. So there you go. So that's something useful you've learnt, is that hacking away at his neck doesn't actually help. Maybe it's his jaw. I kind of did his jaw on this side. I'm gonna run out of head to hack at some point. But I just really don't want that line there because it is going to be painful. Because that split is just never going to go away. I mean, it could be a job for liquid green stuff. If I hold that side together and leave this, maybe I could use liquid green stuff in it. I just prefer it not to be there. Just bounces back out again, and that's annoying. But I don't know what I could be doing to get rid of that. Is it his chin? Chin. Well, I mean, what can I just chop his entire chin off? I think I can. I think I could probably just get rid of most of his face. Okay, I'm doing it. This feels like drastic, but I'm not actually getting rid of his entire chin. Gone. Alright, look at him. He's mould Right, let's see if that made a difference. Was it the chin? If it was the chin, then you only need to cut his chin off. It was not the chin. The chin was not the problem. Certainly not the chin alone. Oh my word, he's basically half the goblin he used to be. And still causing problems. I've got a feeling it's his cheekbones. Well, I can't prove that. Alright, fine. We're just gonna carry on. I'm gonna glue his nose together as the primary. I'm gonna hold that together. It's the main thing. And let this do whatever it's gonna do. It's like they've tried to be a little bit too clever and it's not worked. I don't know why they needed to have the face like showing, like a full face built, and it's only the top of his head that's actually going to be seen. So that seems to be the key problem. There's too much going on that's not needed. That definitely made this take a lot longer than it needed to. There we go. Also, if I put lots of glue on this, that'll kind of puff it out a bit, like I was talking about earlier. I'm not sure I really want lots of glue on it, but that's what we got now. Right, I guess I should put some glue in here for his head. Not that he's got much head left to glue. Okay, so I'm squeezing his nose nice and tight. That's the primary. This is the main thing, which will look rubbish if it's got a hole in. The back I can probably work with, but the nose will look bad and be delicate. That's still not like a particularly snug fit. Kind of want to feed in a little bit more glue. I don't know if this is a good idea or not, but I've done it. There we go. Right, added a bit more glue. It's not like it's being pulled into the recesses, sadly. Okay, I do want to be clamping it still, but I'm worried that my fingers are just gonna make ugly marks on it. So I'm holding that now. Now I'm holding it both sides actually. I'm just going to sit here for a minute or so and hold it. Yeah, I do want to try basically a squig army. Squig herds as core. Now I don't know how to run squig herd units. Do you have lots of squigs and only a couple of goblins? Trouble with that is when they get shot, it's mainly squigs that are dying, and that's really expensive. If you have loads of goblins and just a few squigs at the front, then goblins can be the ones who take the hits when you're getting shot, and you still get most of your squigs. Just have like a front rank of squigs, then you'll mainly get most of your attacks. However, I feel like they do some sort of, it's like an explosion. It's not really an explosion, but when the handlers die or they break from combat or something like that, they do a load of damage, which is more like they get more hits if they've got lots of squigs in the unit when that happens. So I don't know. I'll have to read the rules properly and have a think about how I run the squig herds. But anyway, squig herds as core units, and then squig hoppers as special units. Mangler squigs. I do have a mangler squig I need to put together. Mangler Squig says rare, and then Warbosses on Squigs. It's a shame you can't have a Shaman on a Squig, but if you're not on a Squig, you're not coming in. So I say that, but the Squig herders aren't on Squigs. Now, I do have Scarsnick and Gobbler. Scarsnick. I feel like Scarsnick is a wizard. He certainly casts spells, whether that was just bound spells from his weapon or not is something else. But yeah, okay, so this is probably as good as this is going to get for now. I need to come back and clean it up with a knife. But I think we're more or less there on that. There's still a tiny gap, but yeah, I think that's as good as we're going to get, and I don't hate it. Right, what's next? We've got legs, arms, 14 and 15 are his legs. Okay, one leg there, and one leg there. Random sound effect, because you know, why not? Okay, that's that. And this one. Yeah, once he's got both of these feet on, it's just his... Oh, he's got a hat as well. I did not realise he had a hat. Okay, so both of these feet. Then he's got his spear arm with a separate hand. And his other arm, I guess, is holding on to the squig. Okay, let's have a look, see how he's doing. Maybe the glue's dry enough now to try and salvage his nose. That looks a little bit better. It's a shame he's still got a hole at the top of his nose. And I don't think it's going to get any better, me kind of digging away at it. Nope. The rest of it looks like it's fine. I might try and put some liquid green stuff in that. Although, I don't know. Let's, yeah. I don't know. Could try, I guess. So now I'm just cleaning up the seam before I glue these legs on. Oh yeah, he's got a hood on over here, so actually that may cover some of this, although it's come out all right. We did manage to get rid of that hole in the end, most of it. Great. Okay, that's not the worst outcome. We've still got a bit of hole at the top of his nose, but there we go. Right, okay, it could have been a lot worse. Let's try a leg. So this leg goes here. Stick that on. And then I feel like I should try him on the squig. How well is he going to fit? Is he going to take some wiggling around to get on? Looks like he might be fine. Let's try his other leg. It goes in there like that. Yep, nice. Okay, great. Should put some glue in between the two bits there. Just going to hold that for a sec to try and get those two to stick together without a hole in between, a gap. Okay, so yeah, that fits on pretty snug. That's very good. Do that. Okay, right. What have we got? His arm. It's holding on. Looks like he's missing part of his thumb. I guess that's meant to be holding onto the squig somewhere. Maybe dug under the skin or something. There's something really spiky on this, poking into my thumb. Yeah, it's like, I don't know if that's a bit of cloth. Yeah, it is. Spiky cloth. How does that fit in? Oh yeah, he's got his hood, I forgot about that already, even though we definitely just discussed that a minute ago. I'm not quite sure what orientation that's meant to be. Oh, there's a notch there. Still can't line it up though. That notch there goes into that notch there. If I can work out how it fits though. It's really hard. I actually am struggling to see how it goes in. It's a bit weird. It doesn't seem to want to fit into the hole. Not easily. Maybe if I give it a shove. It doesn't feel like it fits in the hole at all. What am I doing wrong? Weird. Where's the hood? Let me see if the hood covers this issue. Oh, there's a cowl as well. Okay, fine. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe the cowl and hood will cover over any gap that would leave. Can I stick the hood on here first? Yeah, I probably can. Let's do that. And then see where we land. What's that bit for? Is that for anything? No, I don't think it is. I think it's just... Okay. Just decoration. Okay, let's glue this together, I think. I mean, I actually don't need to glue this bit on here because I can see. Let's put this here. Yeah, it's going to cover over the top of the arm, so it doesn't really matter how snug that fit is anyway. Alright, I'm convinced. Let's glue this arm on. It's not a very good fit in that hole, I don't think. But it doesn't matter because this is going to cover it. So that's okay. Alright. The other arm is over here. Yeah, it's all about the dry fit. Testing stuff out first to see what's going to happen so that you are ready and there's no surprises. because stuff not gluing together well is very annoying, particularly when if you've put glue on it already and it's not fitting together well and you're struggling to work out why, and you end up with stuff sticking to your fingers and the plastics melting together or melting apart and you're getting sticky mess. That just becomes stressful and frustrating. So always do your dry fitting first. Make sure it's gonna fit together before you put the glue on it, and see what it's like. And that will save you that anxiety and stress in those times when stuff isn't as straightforward as you thought it was going to be. The irony is that that tip comes in probably at a point where no one's even watching this video anymore, because it's over an hour long to put this guy together. That was certainly not anticipated. I honestly thought it would be more like a 15-minute job, maybe 20 minutes. I did not think it was going to take this long at all. There we are. I'm good at underestimating things. Hopefully I'll get better at estimating things the more I do this. And I'll be able to look back at videos if I'm like, oh, I wonder how long that's going to take. Have a look at what have I done of a similar size, how long did it take? That will help. So yeah, having a bit of a repertoire to look back on. Okay, so this has got a nice easy fit there. Right, let's just stick that on. No surprises here. And I'm feeling a bit more confident anyway now. I know I've got a cowl going over the top to hide anything that looks a bit naff. Should I have stuck that spear on first? I should have. It definitely tells me to stick the spear on first. But it looks like it fits in fine through that gap. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I do like this model. It's a nice model, even if it does have a few quirks on the gluing side, like his face. It's a nice model. It's gonna go there. I'm using this foothole as a judge for where everything goes. And it snaps, kind of snaps into place. That's exciting. Yeah, it's a good pose he's got going on. I do like it. Right, let's stick this cowl on over there. I do like the way stuff just fits together nicely. The irony of saying that after struggling with his face. There we go. For the most part, this model builds really well. It's just that one little bit of his face that was a bit of a letdown. There we go. Right, it's just his hood, and then his... I probably should have stuck his hood to his cowl first, like I was going to earlier. That'll go in there. Right, maybe not. Maybe it's fine. Okay. it does say to stick his cowl to his head. So there you go. If you're building this, so stick the cowl to the head first. The head to the cowl, but that's fine. Good, very good. Okay, that's how it's going to be. Look at that. I was going to say fits on with no glue. Not strictly true. Right, let's put a bit of glue in this hand-holdy bit that he's got going on. And in these places where I can see he's got some dents for his feet and his legs. And I wonder if I need to put some on his... No, it's probably, those are probably the only places I need to do it. So we'll put his stick his hand on there and his legs. So I'm just going to hold all three of those points, push them firmly against the squig to encourage them to stick. And then we'll stick him on his base, and I'll stick some stand on just to kind of finish it off. And then it'll be done, ready for spraying. Oh, I've stuck my finger. It's not the best sign, because it means I'll have left a finger mark there. There we go. Okay, yeah, cool, very nice. Right, let's stick him on his base. We can just go just there. Sure, just put him like that, so that he's got room to be close to something that he's fighting without poking it too much. It's more likely that he'll have something in front of him than something behind him. So yeah, that feels like the right thing to do. Right, that is the glue done. I just dropped the wire on the floor. Okay, let's put this back in here. So this is just a bit of sandwich tie wire that I use to keep the nozzle clean, so it doesn't get clogged up, because it does get clogged up otherwise. Right, let's grab a stone and some sands over here. Right, I've got a box of stones, because I like to have a bit of something on their base that looks cool. That's quite a nice looking stone. Might add that on there. Yeah, that's nice. We'll have that one. And I feel like I want another one as well. And 2 stones. Is that overkill? Maybe it's overkill. I don't know. Maybe it's fine. One there as well. I feel like I'm going to have that first stone there. It needs another stone to accompany it. There we go, double stone on that side. Maybe like that. A couple of stones like that. And that stone. I'm not sure about that one. Maybe this one. Something like that. Right, let's get some glue. So this is just PVA glue now that I'm using to stick these stones on with. Just give that a good covering on the bottom. This one. Where was I going to put it? I was going to put it there. Okay, that's that one there. And then this one. There we go. Right, and then we'll just put some glue on the rest of the base and then stick some sand on. Going to stick sand on this mound as well. Okay, that is glue basically everywhere. Oh, I didn't open the sand. That was a mistake. I should have done that. There we go. Right, let's dunk it in. Just wipe it off around the edges because I don't want sand over the edge of the base. Just want it in the right places. There we go. That is him done. Just tip sand everywhere now. Looking good. Looking good. Yeah, I do like a good rock on his base. Yeah, there we go. Cool. Alright, well, hopefully that was interesting. It was a lot longer than I was anticipating. But he's come out really nice. And yeah, we'll, at some point I'll be painting him up and we'll have some squig hoppers to join the army. Alright, thanks for watching.